Hi, everyone. I am recording this podcast today in Samos, Greece. So if you're watching this on YouTube, this is Samos. If you're listening, we're sorry that you can't see it, and you can go to YouTube to see it. I am here today with Hannah McKittrick. Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Jackie.
And I'm going to explain what we're doing. So, Hannah is a retreat leader. She's a culinary instructor. She's a coach, certified coach,
Mhm.
and just a wonderful, wonderful person and leader. And Hannah, I don't even know where to start. But thank you for doing this. I'm so glad
Yeah.
we're doing it.
Yeah. So basically, Jackie just attended my week-long culinary and wellness retreat, which is the culmination of my 4-month mastermind program that Jackie went through of cooking and coaching to bring more lightness and soul alignment. And we're here an extra day in Samos, and we love recording podcasts together. So we figured, why the hell not?
Well, what I wanted out of this, Hannah, is to really talk about what goes on, who would want to go on a retreat like this, like who is this for, and really what you get out of it, which my head is still spinning in delight from 7 days with a group of 8 women, no, 9 women plus
Mhm.
Hannah. And I want to just talk about this for any woman, but also for women who have gone through a divorce or they're going through one. I want to tell you, I didn't even know what to expect
Right.
when I signed up for this. You know, a lot of the women, not a lot, but some had been to a retreat. You go to a
Mhm.
yoga retreat, you do yoga the whole time, you go to any kind of retreat, and that's what you're doing. But this wasn't like that. This was, can I explain what
Yeah.
I think it was?
Yeah. Tell me.
Okay, I don't even know what I expected, but this was like a vacation with a group of like-minded women, and the vacation included every single day packed with activities, everything from shopping, spa treatments, going to the pool, going to the beach, and coaching,
Mhm.
which I had never done anything like that, so
Mm.
for me, that was new. And cooking, I forgot. Oh, I forgot, we're at a culinary school. And there was a lot of cooking, but not too much cooking. There was coaching, but not too much coaching. And then there was just tons of fun, great food, great wine, interesting drinks, so much culture, cats everywhere. By the way, when I first got here, I always hated cats. Now I love them. I want to get one. So, Hannah, my first question to you is, who do you have about one retreat a year?
2 usually,
Oh,
yeah,
two.
well, 1
Okay.
to 2.
Who are these for? Like, who do you envision going on a retreat like this?
So it definitely takes a particular type of person, and the people that come on these type of experiences are drawn to them. They're drawn to me for some reason, they're drawn to the photos for some reason, they just have some inkling that, like, I should be there, and those people, they're usually right, and like you said, you didn't really know what to expect, but you had this pull, like, "I need to be there," and so who it's for is a woman who wants more out of her life, out of her experiences. She wants to go on an adventure and not alone. Like she wants to bring in community and connection into that experience so that she can feel deeply connected and not lonely anymore. And it's also for someone who wants to enrich in their sense of self and really go on that self-growth journey because like you said, we do these intentional group coaching sessions to really get present on what it is you desire and what type of person that is and releasing anything that's not in alignment with that so that ultimately you can step into a lighter way of being so that when you go home you can move through life with a sense of ease and like your shoulders can drop 2 inches because you've just embodied and experienced this version of yourself that you want to hang out with more, right? And the pathway through that on these retreats, in addition to the coaching, is through joy and through fun. And so the itinerary is really handcrafted just for that, to give people an embodied experience of joy and of fun and of relaxation. And so that's kind of the method behind my madness when I go to craft the itinerary. I really want someone to feel taken care of, and also for them to blow their minds of like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I'm doing this."
Well, what's so interesting that I want to tell my listeners is that you went and scouted every single place that
Mhm.
we were going. The
Restaurants.
restaurants, the excursions, obviously the hotel.
Right.
So it wasn't like she was taking a chance on anything.
Mhm.
Hannah knew exactly what we were getting, and that's important. So let's talk about the difference if you say, okay, I'm going through a divorce. I want to go to Samos with some of my friends.
Mhm.
Okay, you're going to have a good time, but it's a completely different experience. I mean, obviously, if you're with your friends, you are going to have a great time, but explain the difference.
Yeah, so God, there's so much. I'll say the first is the retreat container in and of itself. So the retreat container, we call it, it's a metaphorical container. My family has a hard time with that one. They're like, "Wait, is it a Tupperware?" And I'm like, "No, it's an energetic container holding the
I
group."
got that right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. And so it's almost like a portal of growth and manifestation, like going into this retreat container. And so when you come into this and have an intention, it gets catapulted, and it's 111 here right now. And it's like every woman on this retreat, they didn't just have fun, they experienced they went through a complete transformation from day 1 to day 7. Like, they entered one person and left another person, and that's because they enter into this retreat container that's intentionally crafted to give them a transformation into more lightness. Versus if you're just going on a vacation, like, you're kind of just, like, chilling, and it's not necessarily self-growth
Mhm.
oriented.
But there is some chilling on this.
Oh,
There's a lot of
totally.
chilling.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk.
It's, like, guided though, guided
Yeah, but
chilling.
there was a lot of like time. We had 2 hours of free time
Yeah,
every day. You could do what you wanted to do.
yeah.
And by the way, there was one activity like I just didn't want to go. And Hannah was like, that's cool. You don't have to go. So it's not like, you
It
know,
was a winery, by the way, everyone was
oh,
like,
I
"Why?"
know, but it was just because I didn't feel well.
Yeah, no, I
But
know.
okay. All right. So I want to talk about my transformation because I think it will help my listeners a
Yeah.
little bit of what I got out of it. Because, Hannah, you know this, the first day I was like, I've never been on a retreat,
Mhm.
I've never had any kind of coaching at all. And I was kind of like, this is a little deep for me. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, Jackie was our resident newbie. She did great.
Well, the first thing I want to say is that the women that went on this thing blew me away.
Yeah.
First of all, they were all extremely successful people, but from different economic backgrounds. It's not like they were all gazillionaires, but they were extremely successful in their careers. They also, I don't know what it is, Hannah, but like each one of them had like this heart of gold, and you felt like you couldn't say like John says to me, "Well, was there anyone who was like your favorite?" I'm like, "No, they were all my favorite."
Mm.
And they were all really unique in their own way, and it was delightful. I mean, in the closing coaching thing, I just started crying when I was talking about how much I enjoyed these women
Mhm.
who I truly think will be lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the journey. So there was a lot of things, Hannah, that you talked about that were like um, releasing what we don't want in our lives.
Mhm.
And then there was what we want to bring into our lives.
Mhm.
Now, I just looked at the clock. We have to take a break. So, when we come back, we're going to talk about my journey and then what else goes on in coaching. And then we're going to get into some of the things specifically we did that I thought were amazing. So, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Divorce Girl Smiling podcast. My name is Jackie Pilosoff and I'm your host. Today I am here in Samos, Greece. I'm here with Hannah McKittrick. Hannah is the founder of her company, My Intuitive Health, and she's a culinary instructor, a wellness coach, and she just had a retreat here in Samos. It just ended yesterday that I attended. Okay, so Hannah, I want to tell my listeners about my experience. But first, I want to ask you, why do you ask everyone to release what they don't want and then bring in what they do want? How is that significant? Why did you include that in the retreat?
Yeah, so we all have desires in our life, right? We all want things. We all have goals and aspirations. And sometimes there are subconscious things standing in the way of us fully receiving that and fully making space for that. And sometimes, honestly, we just get in our own ways, right? Whether that's through fear or doubt or our minds or self criticism, whatever it might be. And so when you release whatever that might be that's standing in the way, you're able to catapult your desires to you so much more quickly. And so the releasing helps to create space and more ease with bringing those desires to you, and then claiming your desires and actually like writing it down and speaking it out loud also helps to catapult it towards you and bring that awareness, and also start to um the universe can start to conspire in your favor for said desires, and you can
Mhm.
start to feel it and be it and then attract it.
Oh, I love it. So for me, I said that one of the things that I wanted to release was my busyness in life, how I just rush through every day, how I just don't appreciate, well, I shouldn't say I don't appreciate. I'm a pretty appreciative. I have a ton of gratitude, but I don't stop and look at things. And I don't know if it was the combination of the coaching, but also the way of life in Samos. Everyone is slow. They take their time. You look around at the beauty. There are lavender trees and fig trees all around, olive trees. The other day I stepped on something, oh my god, oh, it was an olive on the path. You know, and there's cats, like there's a few cats you see, and there's so it's noticing beauty. And Hannah and I both said you can notice beauty if you are in like a bumblefuck anywhere. It doesn't have to be Samos. Find beauty, and that's kind of what I want to take home with me, that way of life that is slowing down. I can wait 5 more minutes to answer an email. I can
Mhm.
notice the smell of a delicious meal or feel the love I see between like a couple who's walking in the park.
Mhm.
You know, like little things, and I think that makes people happier, less stressed,
Mhm.
and just more grounded.
It calms your entire nervous system, just taking that step back and permissioning yourself to be in the moment. Like, it brings your life back to you because you're
Mhm.
present to it instead of rushing to the next thing, to the next thing. You're actually enjoying what's happening here and now.
Love it. I want to get into why you chose all of the activities you chose. So, do you want me to list them and then you can kind of say? Because I remember every single day, and then I would always go, another winner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No bad days here. Yeah, sure.
Well, why don't we start with 3 months before the retreat?
Hmm.
We attended weekly Zoom cooking and coaching calls.
Yep.
And that is how all the women got to know each other. So it was kind of nice when we got here, we all sort of knew each other
Right,
better
right,
than if you just met someone for the first time.
right.
And during those cooking calls, tell me why you do that,
Hmm.
other than to get people to meet each other, the cooking and the coaching for the 3 months ahead of time.
Yeah, so obviously for the connection, but a lot of what I teach and preach is alignment. And alignment has to come through your mind, through your body, and through your spirit. And so the cooking classes help to kind of prime your system, number one, to experience the transformations on retreat, but it also helps to the big shift that happens during those healthy cooking classes is that it makes healthy cooking so much freaking fun and so delicious. And I know you can speak to that because the meals we make on the classes, they're so filled with vegetables, filled with whole foods, but so succulent with flavor. and it energetically shifts people's relationship to food, and so that's really great, and it also primes their bodies to um, make more space for deeper transformations on retreat. And then the coaching calls help to really connect people and also bring intentionality, kind of like what we were saying earlier, like what they desire, what they want to release, and anything that's getting in the way.
So I want to make a comment to divorced moms who have little kids or feel like they don't have time for this, because that was me the entire time my kids were growing up. It was like, what the heck am I going to make for dinner? And really, I missed the boat. I wish I could have done this 15 years
No,
ago.
you did not miss the boat.
Well, I didn't miss the boat now, but when my kids were growing up, like McDonald's, drive-throughs, carry-outs, maybe I'd cook some pasta with some jar sauce. And what I learned from the cooking is that it's very, very easy and it doesn't take a lot of time to cook.
Hmm.
And once you get the basics from Hannah and her classes, you can really do it on your own,
Yeah,
because if you roasted this kind of vegetable, you can just buy another vegetable and roast
right.
it the same way. It's very simple, it's very healthy, it makes you feel good, and you'll be teaching your children to
Hmm.
cook that way too.
Right.
So I wanted to say that.
Hmm.
Now let's get to the retreat.
Okay, so the retreat. We love to open the retreat with a big wow type of dinner. So when you guys got here, we did a little welcome party with this view and, had like appetizers everywhere, Prosecco out. We wanted everyone to feel instantly at home and like they belong. And so the dinner, I think it was 4 or 5 courses, that night with different wine pairings, and really just wanted to give people an experience that they were like, "Oh my gosh, like, I'm sitting on the coast of Greece right now, eating this meal,
And
having
this
this."
was our background
Yeah.
because the restaurant is right down there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, definitely instantly, we want everyone to feel like they belong, like they're home, and we just wanna, like, wow them with such a fun, connected night. And then the next day, we started with a hands-on cooking class because my intention for that is to get people out of their heads, into their body, into the creative juices, getting things flowing, and then after that, we do the first coaching circle to really ground in that presence and the power that everyone is wishing to create for themselves. Um,
And people cried and got vulnerable
yeah,
and were very happy. And go ahead, because I wanted to say the first coaching session was a lot different than the second
yeah,
and the third. And by the way, there really was only 3 coaching sessions.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not like the whole trip is like, "Oh, you have to go to this coaching thing." It's really nice. It was like the perfect amount.
People love to be seen, and it can be hard to be seen sometimes, cue the tears. But when you allow yourself to be seen in front of a group of women like that and validated, like you're unstoppable because you're no longer fearing yourself or resisting yourself. You get to be you.
And everything is confidential,
Yeah,
so, like, I know I would never talk about the lives of these other women, even to John or
right,
anybody.
right.
I just wouldn't. They're
Secret circle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next day.
Yeah. Oh, so wait, you also went out to a fancy dinner that night with a view, with the
Right.
sunset.
Okay, we drove up the mountain like this
Yeah.
to the top. It
Yep.
was so breathtaking. I can't even describe it. Maybe I should look for some pictures.
No, no, they'll have to look on my Instagram and see
Oh,
the
right.
day
What's
by
your
day.
Instagram handle?
It's Hannah, Hannah, period McKittrick, McKitrick, or My Intuitive Health.
Okay, if you wanna see the pictures, go there.
Yeah.
Alright, next.
Okay, then so that was day 2. So day 3,
Went
we
to the spa.
no, we did
Oh, we
something
went
else.
shopping and
Oh,
into
yeah.
town. We went to a
Oh,
little
yeah, that was a
town.
fun day. So we
Mhm.
walked there's a town walking distance, so we all walked into town and did a little shopping, got, like, some souvenirs, some dresses, because who doesn't love dressing up on the Mediterranean? And then we had a lunch by the sea, which was so I loved that lunch. It was, like, literally our table and then the sea, and, this time of year, October in Samos, there's, like, no one here, so we had the whole place to ourselves and just family style everything, and then after that, we had a little downtime, and then we went to the winery where we tasted 9 wines, and they were the freshest, most clean, crisp wines we've ever tasted in our lives because Samos is right by the sea, and so that is the natural influence in these wines is that fresh, clean taste. And then we came back and had an aperitivo with a bunch of fried food and veggies because we had been drinking wine, so we need a little sustenance, but also
Mhm.
we love our veggies, so had to have
And what
those
was
too.
happening during this time is you felt yourself getting close to these women.
Yeah.
You were talking more about life
Yep.
other than like how nice everything is. Like at the
Yeah.
beginning, everyone was kind of like, oh, this is so beautiful. That was like our conversation. The next day, it got even a little deeper. Then it just got
Yeah.
deeper and really just amazing friendships.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, next day was the spa.
The next day was the spa day. Oh, and then we had a full moon ceremony that night
Oh,
before. 'Cause there was a
right.
full moon, so we did a little fire releasing ceremony to really seal the deal of, like, claiming what we're releasing.
Did you have to pay a little extra for the full moon?
I did, yeah, I moved some things around, and then, and so the next day was spa day, and there was these water therapies at the spa, which were designed to help energetically clear everyone's system of any stagnant energy that wanted to continue to release, and so there was, like, these emotional shower, water therapy rooms, a sauna, everyone got a massage,
It was the best massage I think I've ever had in my life. I am not kidding with these hot oils. It was
yeah,
unbelievable.
it
That
was
was a fun day.
it was pretty cool,
Then we sat outside of the spa on these like they had like these beds that were
like
in like a
cushion
water.
beds,
Yeah, in
yeah,
like a water and we all just felt so cleansed and relaxed. It was really
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Okay, then what'd we do that night?
and then we came back and had a spa-inspired lunch,
Oh, right.
really, like, clean and crisp,
Cucumber and lemon water, some
green
spinach,
apple,
ginger,
ginger
green
juice,
juice, salad.
seared sea
Yeah, it
bass,
was it
it's
was
really good,
amazing.
um, Greek yogurt cheesecake. And then we had our next coaching circle, and this was my favorite part of the week, I
Mhm.
think. It was like we were on another plane. Like everyone was so relaxed and everyone was speaking such from their soul's truth of like who they were and like who they were claiming to be and like what they're stepping into in their next chapter. Like it was so powerful and peaceful and
And
sacred.
it's to be vulnerable like that is very empowering
Yeah.
and fosters a lot of self-love
Hmm.
because you're kind of like, wow, I did this. I'm here. I'm opening up to these people and I'm learning about myself and I realize that I have good parts and I have parts I need to work on. And so it's so beautiful. Like no one's perfect. We all hopefully always are striving to be better versions of ourselves, even though we love a lot of parts about ourselves,
Yeah,
but we can always improve and grow and learn
exactly.
to
And
be happier for
yeah.
no other reason than to have better relationships and to be happier.
Yeah, and I know a lot of your people listening are single or in transition, and one of the main benefits of these types of circles is that you let yourself be seen. And in being seen, you're able to connect even more deeply with someone because you're connecting with the authenticness of their soul. It's like a soul to soul connection. It's not like, "Hey, how's the weather?" It's like you know this person and like that I think really like people want to feel connected.
All right, next day,
Okay. Then
cooking.
we had a cocktail party that night with, Greek barbecue
Oh,
skewers.
that was fun. Everything was on a skewer, and what I
Yeah.
thought was so interesting is there was bread skewers, like, he fried this bread, it was delicious. Even the dessert was on a skewer.
Yeah,
It was
it
great.
was great.
Mhm.
So, then the next day we had another cooking class. We did, like, fried feta, rolled eggplant, homemade Greek donuts, homemade Greek yogurt, and then we all sat outside and ate the lunch that we had
Mhm.
prepared, and they make it really easy for us, right? It's kind of like the magic of TV, and we just do some of the fun parts.
I will say, though, all the stuff we made sounds really gourmet, fancy. It was very doable,
Mhm.
even for if you're like, "Well, I'm not a cook." You could make any of the stuff we made, no big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, homemade pita, like
Right,
souvlaki, it
right.
was cool. And then
You
we
went to
oh, we
Pitagorio.
yes, she's good. Yeah, then we had a little rest time and we went to Pitagoreo, which is a nearby seaside town, and we went to the specialty food store and did like a little like wine tasting and specialty like honey and olive oil tasting so that people could buy these products from Samos for
Mhm.
souvenirs.
By the way, if you heard me cough earlier in the podcast, it was because right before the podcast, I took a bite of this coconut thing
Oh.
that I bought there.
Didn't give me any.
Oh, no, I wanted it all for no.
Yeah, yeah.
It was delicious. So anyway, it was like a gourmet and you could buy whatever you
Yeah,
wanted. You had
yeah.
to just be careful because I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to close my suitcase.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that was really fun. Then we had this great
Oh,
dinner.
yeah. Again, by the sea with some
Mhm.
rosé, just a little
And
bit,
that
and
town was kind of hopping.
yeah, it
It was
was.
like, really busy and fun, and then I was walking back to the bus, and this woman looks at me and goes, "Hi, how are you?" And I thought, "Well, I don't look like I'm a local,"
Yeah,
and I heard it was somebody who works at the spa, and she
yeah,
recognized me, like, people here are so nice, and they're
yeah.
so friendly, and it's just such a good vibe.
It's so welcoming, and it's such a different way of life, and it's like you step into another time period here. It's like a different enchanted place,
It
which is
is. It
yeah,
really is. I love the Greek culture.
yeah.
Okay. Last
Last
day,
day.
which I think is my
This
favorite.
was Jackie's favorite, so we decided to have a little nature outdoorsy day, so we had the culinary school here pack us lunches, and we set off to go on, like, a mini hike type of situation, like, all levels, and we just went, like, maybe for an hour total walking on this trail that overlooks the sea, and then landed back on the beach to have our
Okay, wait, but we were hiking in like the wilderness. I mean, like, you
Is there
could
any other
not
place to
see.
hike?
It was so amazing.
Yeah.
There was like just hills and rocks and beauty, and you just felt so free
Mm,
and so in nature. It was I can't even explain it.
yeah.
And I have an anxiety. I was like thinking, well, what if we can't find our way back? That's gone now. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's
It's
just
part of the
gone.
magic of retreats is like what wants to be released, like will, without you having to force it or make it happen. Like it's a natural part of you being here. It's like
Mhm.
it just releases.
Okay, then we went to the beach,
Then we
which
went to the
was another
beach
favorite of
and
mine.
we had our lunch, which was like, oh, it was so good. These like roasted veggie wraps with this feta spread and chicken and hummus and oregano chips and chocolate. And then we did our closing circle there, which was so special. It was
I
really
think
big.
almost everybody cried.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
just, just with the things that people were sharing and the leaps that people were making, it was really sacred. And then after we closed that, I whipped off my dress. I had a bathing suit on. I said, I'm going in the water. Who's going with me? And everyone jumped
And it
in.
was
It was cold.
freezing,
It was cold.
freezing.
Like outside, it was a little chilly, and
Everyone jumped in. Of course, I was the last person, and I
but she
thought,
did it.
"There's no way I am gonna be the only one standing left on the what is wrong with you?"
Yeah,
So I whipped off my shirt and went in my yoga pants and a sports bra.
yeah,
Didn't even have a bathing suit on.
it was
And I
perfect.
swear when I hit that water with all those wonderful women in there, I was like, "Wow, I can
Hmm.
do anything."
Bliss.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Okay, I wanna close this by telling you guys if you like what you're hearing, you need to go to myintuitivehealth.com. But I want to end by telling you a story of my journey to get to Samos because I came by myself. I got to O'Hare Airport. I checked my bag. I was on my way to the gate, and all of a sudden, I got tears in my eyes. I was so freaked out and scared. And I went into the bathroom and just started sobbing. And I thought, I can't do this. I've never flown this long. I've never gone out of the country. I've never traveled alone. And I thought, well, You've got two choices. You can call John, he'll come pick you up. You don't have to go. Or you can get on the fucking plane. So that is what I chose to do. And the minute I got on the plane, the flight was like a half hour delayed for something. I don't even know. They said, "Oh, if you want to get up and walk around before we leave, you can." And everyone's walking around. And at that point, I was never nervous again. I
Mhm.
really wasn't. It
Yeah,
was crazy.
yeah.
And Hannah says that's part of the retreat
Yeah,
too.
it is. It is. A lot of women have fears like going to another country by themselves, right? And the the fact that you overcame that, you're unstoppable now because like you have that knowing that you can really do anything and you're not held back or weighed down by any limiting beliefs and it's all a thing of the mind. Once you get here, it's like you're nurtured like you've never been nurtured
You're
before.
held.
Yeah.
A lot of people said they felt held the entire time.
Yeah.
And I did too. Like one night I got a little nauseous from the bus ride. And when we got back, I just sat on the couch, like in the lobby area, and all the women surrounded me and was like, here's some carbonated water. Here, I have some Pepto-Bismol. I was like, my stomach's fine. We'll just take it anyway. And like everybody just sat around me and I just felt so loved. And that was only on day two.
Yeah,
And by the way, I
supported.
never got sick again after that.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, Hannah, I'm going to close with this. What advice do you have? There's a lot of people listening who are thinking about divorce, going through one, or just divorced, and they're feeling very insecure, unsure of themselves.
Mm.
What would you say to them?
Mm. Well, there's two things. One is put yourself in a community where you're going to be loved up on, because we need that. We're not meant to go through any of this alone. And so having a community of other people who can just like reflect your greatness back to you would be, it could be my retreat. We definitely do that here, but it could be something else, like whatever that is for you. And then number two, follow what feels fun. And this is really my motto for how I live life and for how I like to inspire other people to live because what feels fun is your intuition guiding you into your highest path, into your highest expression. And not only is it towards your path of alignment, it feels really good in the moment. And so even if it's just a day, like what can I do today that feels really fun? And like maybe that's booking one of my retreats. Maybe that is getting coffee with a friend or making like a fun spaghetti dinner or whatever it might be. But like following what feels fun is a guidepost that will never ever steer you wrong.
I always tell people small steps. Just do one thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, okay, I'm going to start going to the gym every day and work out for an hour and a half. No, small little things that are fun, enjoyable, and meaningful to you.
Yeah.
And that's a great, uh, this is a perfect timing to talk about your cooking course that people can join on a monthly basis.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell my listeners.
Yes. So I have a membership called Cook Club, and it's a monthly membership that you can join at any time. And you get weekly recipes, and we meet once a month for a live healthy cooking class, just to bring the vibes and give people that dose of fun energy in the kitchen. So that's definitely like a really small step that you could take to bring in that good energy.
Yeah, like, do that for yourself once a month.
Yeah, right?
Wow, I love it. Thank you
Yeah.
for doing this. I'm so glad we did it.
Me too. Thank you for trusting yourself and following the pull to Samos.
Well, I am so looking forward to more cooking, more life joy, my relationships that I formed, and kind of putting into work all of the things that I learned
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
So, Hannah, thank you for everything.
Thank
It was a
you.
wonderful week, and I want my listeners to know if you again want to reach Hannah, go to myintuitivehealth.com. That's where you can find her cooking club, retreat information, and recipes, a newsletter that gives recipes. I mean, there's
Mhm.
lots of stuff on there.
Mhm.
So, thank you so much for listening, everyone. And if you want to listen to more podcasts, read articles, download my mobile app, or find trusted, vetted divorce professionals, which Hannah is one of them. go to divorcedgirlsmiling.com.